Hi, beautiful people. Leticia here, or Leticia as I mostly go by these days. Okay, Anthony, thank you. So, yeah, I'm at my favorite beach in Playa. And happy Valentine's Day. I like that here they call Valentine's Day Dia del Amor y la Amistad, Day of Love and Friendship. And anyway, guys, oh my goodness, the past couple of days have been a roller coaster of intense emotions. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, everybody. Yeah, life always teaches us so many lessons, and I think one of the things that's come up for me literally in the past couple of days is, the importance of compassion, and also perhaps, I'm guessing, the importance of sometimes letting go and accepting things for what they are. And just, as some of you know, I'm part of a number of ladies groups here in Playa, and there were some heated conversations on one of the groups, and I tried to calm things down. It was a ladies group, and again, there was some heated conversation. I tried to calm things down, and I invited people to have some compassion, because I really feel that when we are compassionate towards other humans and towards ourselves too, for all our failings, it's really powerful. It can really help heal things. And as you may know, if you've watched my previous live streams, in my most recent ayahuasca journey, I got the message that all the darkness that we're currently witnessing on the planet is coming to the surface in order to be purged. Thank you, Gloria, so sweet. Love you too, sister. Thank you. It's coming to the surface in order to be purged, and I gave the example, just like some people purge physically during an ayahuasca ceremony, people vomit, some people have diarrhea and what have you. On an energetic level, when we see darkness around us, I got the message that, again, it's coming to the surface in order to be purged. And so I want to allow myself to be with the darkness and be okay with it, and know that it's simply coming up to be purged, to be processed, never to return again. Like, I really got that sense that everything we're seeing on our planet right now, all the darkness, it's coming in order to be healed. And when darkness shows up around us, it's in order to be processed and to be healed. So with that said, again, I did my best to kind of cool things off on that one ladies group. And even my best efforts, I hope some of the things that I said resonated with some of the group members or with the leader. I think things are still getting settled down. I did the best I could. We can only do so much, and then I don't want to say any more about that. But since I was preaching compassion, how interesting. Thank you, Mia, so sweet. How interesting. Just last night, it was February the 13th, going into Valentine's Day. I had left Anthony with a sitter for a few hours because, I wanted to have some alone time with a certain someone that's coming to my life recently and that I've been spending some time with. He's a good guy. He's definitely a beautiful human being. And it ended up that Anthony fell asleep at around, 11 p.m. or so, or maybe a bit later. But I had a lot of work to do until like late at night. So finally, the babysitter tells me, he's taking a nap. I say, maybe I can pay you a little extra and have him stay overnight. And she was gracious enough to accept. She's actually a friend of mine she's not a professional babysitter. She's helping me with this as a favor, and I'm really grateful for that. So, I had some alone time with this certain gentleman, and he was in a really great mood. He's enjoying music. He's a big fan of electronic music, trance, Tiesto, you got it, and I like that stuff too. It's happy music, good vibes. We're chillaxing. I was still you know, I was on day 6 of my fast. I couldn't drink as of yet, and I've decided I'm breaking my fast today at 4 p.m. by the way, with a cocoa ceremony. Yay! It's gonna be amazing. So anyway, and he's showing me pictures of like videos of concerts, and I remember those times, and I'm like, oh my God, we need to have this back on our planet. We need that humanity, that great joy that people experience when they go to these, whether it's electronic music concerts or any other types of concerts. And you know, it's like, it's a big missing piece right now. Like that it was an opportunity for people to experience euphoria, connection. Music can heal so much, you know. So anyway, those thoughts were coming to mind. And he tells me all of a sudden, it was super late by now. It was like 2:30 a.m. Like we're pulling like a late night. And he tells me, Güerita. He calls me Güerita, which means like blondie in Spanish, and like Mexican Spanish, I guess. He says, why don't we do me a favor? Let's go to this club just for 1 hour. I'm like, oh my God, I you know, the idea of going out late at night, it's not my thing. I haven't gone to a club for a while. He tells me, trust me, you're gonna love it. Just come, trust me. I'm a local. I know my way. Like, okay. I'm like, okay, listen, I'm trying to practice being open to stuff as opposed to just saying like, no, thank you, whatever, you know, even though like I had some hesitation because unfortunately I have heard of certain late night incidents that have happened and continue to happen here in Playa. Things like police extortion, cartel related stuff, like all kinds of weird stuff happens late at night when people get out drunk out of the clubs and what have you, you know. So it's not my scene, and as a mother, you know, I almost never have an opportunity to go out late at night, and it's just not my scene. I prefer to live a healthy life. But you know what? Again, seeing those videos with the joy, and then you know, in the crowds listening to trance. I previously attended things like Ultra Music Festival, so I get it. You know, it can be a source of light and positivity in the world. So you know, I kept an open mind. We decided to go to this place called Coyote, and you know. He wasn't wrong. My friend, my partner, I don't know if I can call my partner yet because it's a very new thing, and again, after the incident last night, we'll see how things are gonna develop. But anyway, so we go to the club, and you know, he was right. The vibe was amazing. The music was amazing. They're playing like happy trance. People are dancing. They're you know, I saw men, women hugging each other. I saw couples kissing. There were a mix of straight people, gay people. I saw a gay couple kissing in front of me. Right next to them, there was a straight couple kissing, another straight couple kissing, people hugging. It was amazing, you know. There were a few people that had had one too many drinks, and you know, the security of the club was very much, the staff were very much on point. They were attentive to people who had had too much to drink. They would either escort them out kindly or ask them to sit. There were some couches, like hangout areas. So, you know, honestly, like, I have nothing to complain about the club. You know, again, I'm not a big fan of being surrounded by drunk people. Obviously, almost everybody there was drinking except maybe me and who knows, maybe one other odd person, because I was just drinking water. But anyway, I could enjoy the vibe, the energy, and my companion was definitely enjoying that a lot as well. And I was happy to see him happy. I was happy to see all the happy people. Now, it was probably around 3:30, 4:30, like must have been around 4 a.m. and I told him, you know what, I'm really tired at this point. I didn't get enough sleep the night before either, so I was like, no, you know what, I wanna head out, please. And since he, you know, promised me 1 hour, he's like, okay, vámonos. So we head out of the club, and this is where my friends ended up having a very contrasting experience that totally shocked me, like beyond words. And I do want to share this with you because I'm still processing what happened. Like it was so shocking. So I literally, we had walked maybe 20 meters out of the club, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing with my eyes. There were two men, if I can even call them men, brutally beating a woman right in the middle of the street. What I witnessed, I was in shock. Like I was, like I literally step on there, and again, everything happens for a reason. Todo pasa por algo, as they say in Spanish. I'm sure I was meant to be there in that moment in time. This was like, you know, like all of a sudden I tell him, let's go out, and at the moment I step out, I see this like 5 meters away from me, these motherfuckers, like I have no words, you know, literally grabbing a woman by the hair, hitting her head against the pavement, punching her in the face, hitting her, like, so I was like, I couldn't believe, and of course I said, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, in Spanish, I said, like, what are you doing? Like, how can you treat a woman like that? What class of men are you? I was so mad. I was like, and I was ready to like head in that direction. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, no. But my partner, he was behind me, and all of a sudden he holds me back. Like he basically, without words, without words, telling me not to get involved. And then the motherfuckers, pardon me, these poor excuse for a human, I have no words. All of a sudden, they're starting yelling, no es mujer, no es mujer. In other words, she's not a woman, right? So, in other words, obviously this was a transsexual woman, but I'm really grateful that I did yell out, because one of the fuckers walked towards me, getting in my face like a meter away from me. No es mujer, no es mujer. It's not a woman. And I'm like, ¿qué importa? Like, I don't know if I even had any words like at that point, but I was thinking to myself, what does it matter what body somebody has? Like, how can you treat another human being like that? But again, I'm grateful that because at least I yelled at the motherfucker, he at least stopped. He was literally kicking the poor woman. No, I was so shocked, guys, but I really, there's a lesson in this, and I wanted to share and get your opinions as well. Like, what would you have done under these circumstances, right? So, and what shocked me even more is that there were plenty of other people around, and nobody was intervening. Now, and everything happened so quickly. People are like, oh, why, call the police. My dear, we're in Mexico. The police is pretty corrupt. They might arrive, but this was happening before our eyes, like in like extremely fast. This incident happened with these two good for nothing, like poor excuses for human beings doing this to this woman. And trans women are women. I don't care what you fuckers may think, like people, like, I'm sorry, if somebody wants to live their life as a woman, they have every fucking right to do so, and I'm very upset. I'm fucking upset because we all know that sexual minorities, and in this case gender minorities, have been abused for a long time. And I know, guys, look, I'm aware of the whole trans agenda, and there's that at play as well. I don't give a damn. Somebody chooses to do something to their body and have operation, it's their body. They can do what the fuck they want with their body, and that's a miserable excuse to be abusing another human being, and I don't give a damn, so anyway, I wanted to intervene. My partner held me back, and then grabbed me by the hand, and we walked away. Now, before that happened, the situation was all of a sudden getting more heated. I'm very grateful. I saw one man intervene. There may have been more, but I saw. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that. Thank you. I saw one black gentleman intervening, and he was an athletic black guy, and obviously he's not from here, right? But he knew enough to do, in my opinion, the right fucking thing. Okay, you see a woman getting abused like that, even if he was a man, if he was like, no matter who it was, you don't stand for abuse. I don't know, like. My thinking is, it's our fucking passivity. It's the generic passivity of the people that has gotten us to where we are right now in the world, where all these abuses are happening, because too many people are too passive. But anyway, that's my opinion. I'd like to hear what you have to say. So anyway, I saw him, like, he was like, like, I saw him like in fighting stance. What? You want something, man? You want something? So he stepped in, and I was like, yeah, man, that's a man. God bless him. Thank God. There's at least one man in the scene. But before I knew it, the situation was getting heated. I saw some guy, I think it was one of the good for nothings. He grabbed there was some construction site nearby, grabbed a piece of wood, obviously with the intention of causing harm. At that point, again, we left the scene. Again, the person I was with grabbed me by the hand, led me in a different direction. Perhaps I could have, well, thank you, Tommy. Perhaps I could have done more. Perhaps I could have told him in that very moment, you know what? No, I want to make sure she's okay. No, leave me alone. But when I saw, things were really getting hit. Like, honestly, it just happened in a matter of seconds. Like, everything just happened so fast. I really hope that poor woman is okay. I really hope so. I even shared this incident with Anthony, my son, and he's like, he goes, I hope they get exactly what they did. I hope they get exactly what they did to that woman. I don't wish harm on anybody, but I think so here's the thing, right? So I was so in shock. I started crying. the person I was with, he took him by the hand. We walked on like a quieter area, kind of to avoid the whole commotion. I was happy to see that one of the security guards from the club also quickly approached the scene and you know, these are people who are trained for this sort of situation. So you know what, I'm grateful that at least when they saw the situation heating up, and again, this was not their property, this was about 30 meters away from the club itself, but I saw somebody with like staff uniform going in that direction. Again, I'm super grateful that at least some people took a stand, you know. And but needless to say, I was disappointed by in this case my partner's attitude, you know, passivity. You know, now he had one, you know, a few drinks. I don't know to what extent that may have affected his judgment. I was just drinking water, so I was very alert. Well, that's for sure, Susan. Yes, he was protecting me. And by the way, when that guy came towards me, listen, I'm not fucking scared of anybody, you know. Like I you know, I have self-defense training. But yeah, I get it, you know. He maybe tried to protect me. I'm still processing everything that happened, you know. And you know, he's a tall guy. The guy who approached us was like, you know, maybe my height at most. So you know, he saw, you know, my partner behind me, and he didn't dare to, you know, raise his fist at me. But he's, you know, he said his poor excuse is like, oh, it's not a man, that's not a woman. Motherfucker. So anyway, I was actually, yeah, in retrospect, maybe that his instinct was to protect me, get me out of that situation. But the thing is, like, I was upset that he said nothing, you know, in the face of, yeah, thank you for understanding. Like, I'm sorry, you know, man, you're supposed to be defenders of women. You see a woman getting abused like that, and you don't do anything? Like, and I'm not just talking about my partner who was, you know, wanting to get out of there, but other men that were around, you know. Only one man stood up, like that black man, God bless him, you know. And maybe other people stood up. Again, I left the scene, I didn't really see, but I was in shock, I was crying, like, and I was so disappointed. First of all, I'm thinking, I was just disappointed at the state of the world, that we still have this kind of darkness on our planet, that we still, and again, I kept reminding myself, yeah, you know, it's coming to the surface, but like, so many injustices have been perpetrated, especially against, you know, sexual minorities, and it affects me. It affected me a lot. I was crying. I was like, I was in shock, you know. And yeah, I told him, how can you just stand there and say nothing in the face of this? If that had been a child, would you have said anything? And the thing is, I was reproaching him, you know. I was reproaching him, and he said nothing the entire time. He was just quiet, just letting me get it all out, but he said nothing, which honestly, like, upset me more, because, well, I know, I don't know, maybe he was just internal processing, I don't know. I couldn't. Obviously, that kind of ruined any Valentine's romanticism for us, but I don't know. I have a hard time with passivity, you know. I remember watching a Chinese expats channel. I don't know how I had come across it on YouTube, but it was a guy from the US who had been living in China for many years, and one of the things he said was that one of the things that shocks foreigners when they come to China is how passive people are. They see a situation, they don't get involved. And they even did, like, him and his crew, just to test things out, they staged an incident where some men were, you know, similarly abusing a woman, beating a woman on the street, and about 10 people passed by the incident, and only one person, about the 10th person, said, like, hey, you know. 1 in 10. How fucking pathetic. Fucking wake up, motherfuckers. Like, I'm sorry, people, stop being so passive. The reason we have what we have on the planet is because people are so fucking passive. Oh, I'm just gonna stay here, I don't want to get hurt, I'm not gonna get involved. So what, you're gonna watch a person be killed, potentially be killed in front of your eyes, because the way these guys were beating that poor woman, banging her head against the asphalt, I mean, somebody from that kind of concussion, somebody can literally die, okay? No fucking kidding. I'm sorry guys, this is a very heavy post and not exactly what you might expect for Valentine's. But okay, so I guess again I'm still processing the entire incident. I feel very righteous in my attitude that, you know, men, women, like whoever you are, you need to take a stand when you see injustice being perpetrated right before your eyes. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, Gloria. You know, this person, he's a very loving and peaceful guy. And I told him, you know what? I get that you love your peace. I know you're a peaceful guy. Like, maybe to some extent I'm thinking, but again, I don't want to make any presumptions. Maybe there's some conflict avoidance thing going on. I don't know. I don't know him well enough. It's a very new connection. So, but hey, what an opportunity to get to know somebody. Oh my God. And I don't want to, and I'm trying, and then, you know, at the end of the night when I told him no, like I you know, I'm good, like I was just, I needed my space, and I told him, he finally said something to me, and he finally said something to me because he listened to me. I was like, honestly, like, to me, that looked like cowardice, you know, like, how can you not? But again, I also get that he was trying to protect me, which is noble. I get that. Okay. I wish he had a better explanation. I mean, the only thing I could get out of him was like, well, yeah, you don't know. There were like 3 cartels watching. I'm like, I don't care who the fuck is watching, okay? Who fucking cares? And again, he's like, again, some of the things he was saying, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know the kind of incidents I've been through. Like, I guess, you know, you've not lived in Latin America. I've lived in Latin America for the past 45 years. It's like, kind of telling me I know the lay of the land. So again, just because maybe he's seen hundreds or thousands, I don't know, in his life of similar incidents, that makes it somehow okay to keep just standing by and not getting involved, and then keep saying that, yeah, you know, yeah, that's just what happens in Latin America. No, amigos, I'm not a fan. I don't think, I said to him, and when it comes to like being peaceful and stuff, I said, well, you know what? There are moments for peace, and then there are moments, and there are moments, you know. So again, I feel, and then at the end of the night, it's like, you're nobody to judge me. You don't know what I've lived through, and I'm like, yeah, it's like I said to him, well, you don't know what I've lived through either, you know, and I'm entitled to my opinions. But then again, he left, and I was left to my own thoughts. Like, probably I fell asleep shortly after, but I was still so perturbed, and even waking up this morning, like I'm still processing the whole incident. But in light of my call for compassion the other night and telling people to be compassionate, I'm like, wow, obviously I need to practice what I preach, you know. I need to be more compassionate, you know. He did what he could in that moment. He did the best he could in that moment. Sure, my expectations would have been that he would have stepped in, and I even told him, you know, the men I admire in Canada, and like the men I admire would have taken a stand. You know, I'm thinking people like Chris Sky, Vladislav Sobolev, Jeff Berwick, you know, just to name a few, you know, the men that I consider my peers, and like I love these people, you know. They would have taken a stand. They would have never in a fucking million years stood by doing nothing. Never. I can give it to you in writing, amigos, in writing. So anyway, all that said, you know, obviously I have strong opinions, but again, I'm also, you know, it is my own judgment, and maybe I am being judgmental, and I'm not exercising compassion. So, yeah, I'm left thinking, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he did whatever he could do in the moment. He did what he felt was the right thing to do, which was partially at least protecting me, pulling me away from a dangerous situation. That was a noble act on his part. It's just gonna take a lot of processing. Well, hopefully not. Like, maybe I can process it faster somehow. I'd like to exercise compassion. Oh yeah, and another thing he said, like, what, do you think the measure of a man is by his bravery? And I said, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that's a very important quality in a man. And he said, you know, what about patience? He is a very patient man too. Like, he has amazing qualities. You know, I'm a very patient man. Like, that's true. He's like super tranquilo, super balanced. Like, no se deja molestar. He doesn't let himself be bothered by many things. I get it, but I mean, in my opinion, opinion, my personal opinion, there's a time for that, and then there's a time for action. There's a time to step in and do something, you know. Again, and maybe again, I'm being judgmental. I'm being however I'm being. But yeah, isn't it so fucking interesting how life gives us, pardon my language, guys, life gives us opportunities to grow and practice. Yeah, perhaps, exactly. Well, yeah, Gloria, you know, I don't want to categorize Gloria saying he's been desensitized because he's seen, you know, all this, like, many incidents happening, and maybe he's scared. I don't know if he's scared, but I mean, his excuse was like, oh, there were 3 cartels watching. I don't give a damn who the fuck is watching. If you have the opportunity to intervene when a person is getting abused, but I get it, you know, potentially intervening could mean that you take a bullet, you know. But in that moment, guys, I wasn't fucking thinking about that. I was just thinking, like, I need to stop this. I need to stop this. And I'm grateful that I spoke out, and at least that sorry excuse for an individual, you know, left, like, stopped abusing the woman and came towards me to tell me his reason for, oh God. Anyway, amigos, I don't know. So many lessons that life gives us, and yeah, the idea of practicing compassion. I'm gonna work on that. I feel like it's gonna take some time. I told him, like, I don't know if I can see him today. You know, I did leave him a message this morning saying, you know, I'm really sorry about everything that happened last night, and obviously I was very affected by what happened. Blah blah blah. Anyway, thank you for listening. Yeah, I don't know. What would you do, my friends? What would you do if you were, like, I don't know, ask yourself that theoretical question. If you came across a scene like that's happening, you know, 5 meters away from you, unfolding quickly, what would you have done? What would you have done? Ask yourself, because you know what, life, that, you know, I like I said, I believe I was meant to witness the scene. I was meant to be there. I did what I could. Perhaps I could have done more. Perhaps the cost to me for trying to do more would have been, I don't know what it could have been, you know. It could have been anything. But now again, I'm trying to exercise compassion. And acceptance, because fighting with what is also kind of a futile battle, you know. Things are what they are. You know, like I said, he did whatever he felt was right in the moment. I do generally come from the perspective that people have good intentions. Obviously, certain sorry excuses for human beings, you know, those guys. And I mean, when that man came to me, he, you know, he was obviously that, you know, when he's like, oh, no, it's no head, whatever, his eyes, he was gone. Like, I could not see a presence. I think he was so drunk or high or whatever, like his eyes were like glazed over. Part of the reason I don't go out, and I would not really advise people to go out late at night in Playa, or, you know, pretty much anywhere really, because alcohol and drugs and all that, yeah, what can you expect to happen, you know? But anyway, thank you for listening. I know this was a difficult share, and it's still, like, on my mind and on my heart. I'm going to this Cocoa ceremony. Like I said, I'm going to break my fast with that, and followed by ecstatic dance. Hopefully that will just kind of help me release some of this heaviness that I'm still feeling. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Much love to all of you. I would love it if you could put it in the comments section, you know, what would you have done in this sort of circumstance? And yeah, I would just love to hear your thoughts, you know, because this was just like such a weird situation to be placed in front of. I never in my life thought I would witness such a situation. I hope I never